Welcome back everyone to Pineleaf Plays the Burglar, and we are back here with Gada to find out what he needs us to do next, in secret.
Will you aid the Rohirrim?
A shortage of meat is a problem of late, as you have surely noticed. Our rations are small and sparse, and Slithering insists that no men can be spared save the ones that went north to Stangard. Wild goats roam the plains of Errolsmead in plenty, and I do not see why none of us are given leave to hunt them. Perhaps you could do this deed while you venture out on your other tasks for my folks. Could you not? Alright, okay, collect meat and then help Slithering with the threat of worms, Subert with to prevent worms from spreading, and Tatooine with farming tasks. So therefore, help them for a second round, plus get some goat meat. Actually, that means that sounds like to me that it was Slithering then who sent the hunting parties down towards LOTRO. I've always wondered why that hunting party went down. Earlier, I was thinking that perhaps they went down because things were so desperate here that they needed to find new grounds in which to hunt. But now, perhaps Slithering sent them down there in order to stir trouble with LOTRO. I don't know how much he might have thought that would have worked, but perhaps that was their plan.
The Rohirrim have need of your services.
I will tell you the real problem with Stangard, Petronella. There are no crops, and no crops means no harvest, and no harvest means no food, now or ever. I was a farmer once, but I have been told to stay here and tend to these horses, day in and day out. If I was permitted to leave this post, I would plant until my back gave out. Here, if you have time, here are some seeds. There are fertile enough spots in the plains of Errolsmead. Alright, well, it's raining. Not exactly the... Actually, I don't know. I don't know farming well enough to know how rain works with planting. Might depend on the crop or something like that. On whether it helps, harms, or whatever. I mean, obviously you need rain in order to help the crops to grow. At least I know that much. Now, let's see. But yes, I think it's about a good time of the year. It will be, I would say, February right now. Yeah, I would say around February, and probably far enough south where planting the crops would be a reasonable thing to do. I don't know when the last season is in this location. Oh, hello there.
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
Yes, I need you to kill worms. Alright, kill worms in a teeming nest. Alright, I can do that. And
The Rohirrim have need of your services.
the worms of northern Errolsmead have been spawning unchecked for months, uncounted, and without interference, they will only continue their numbers to grow. The eggs must be destroyed. Alright, so... Now, personally, I think what they should be telling me to do is not to destroy the eggs, but I mean, I wonder what they think about worm omelets. I mean, really. Well, I suppose I haven't tried any, so I suppose I'm not exactly in a position to go give recommendations on the matter. And I don't know how it compares to goat meat. So I wouldn't be able to answer that question for them. Do you think bringing a sample for it? Now, of course, if I tried that and when the eggs hatched, okay, make sure it's not an egg ready to hatch if I did such a trick. But of course, this is LOTRO. I don't think you'll be able to do that. So hopefully, I will be able to bring in some goat's meat here. Let's say that's 1 of 12. That's Those goats hit hard. That's what I gotta say about those goats. Wait, they're tougher to fight than those dogs are. I think what I'm going to be needing is a new weapon. Currently I have a level 63 dagger with 3 starlight crystals on it. And I don't think that's going to cut it. So the next time I get a chance, I'll probably head off to an auction house and see if they have anything, which is probably no. I've already checked my shared storage to make sure that there was nothing sitting there all nice and ready. Oh, when you hit level 71, I've got this perfect weapon for you. No. Alas, no. No, let's see, there's 3 worms down. Ah, yes, I see the... I think that's a nest up ahead. So kill some worms. Maybe occasional goat. Find some eggs. I think... Oh. A moment there I thought that was something getting ready to attack me. But I think that was just a rabbit that ran off. Or at least that's all I think it was. Boy, these goats are tough. Shh. Eggs. Yeah. Well, considering that some of them seemed... I don't know whether those had predators trying to steal the eggs, or whether those broken eggs are ones that are hatching. So some of them are already hatching that... Alright, now I can fight this thing without being disturbed. Well, until something else comes in. Ooh. Are you ready to give up? Maybe I should have checked whether or not I was in combat. I don't know if I was close enough to him when I was fighting the other one to have triggered that. Alright, there you go. Yeah, look at all these eggs that are open. Hard for me to tell whether or not they broke open because of... Well, of course, if they had broken open because of hatching, you would think there'd be hatchlings all over the place. Right? But I don't see any hatchlings all over the place, unless they really grow quickly. And that's a horrible... Well, if for them to grow quickly, they would need something to eat. And I don't see any viable food sources. What are these things eating? Well, are there normally more goats around here than I thought? There used to be goats all over here. These used to be known as the goat. As the goat pens or something like this. But then the worms came in and all those worms and hatchlings and all eating the goats. That's it. And what I killed was one of the last remaining goats in this area. I mean, well, look at this. I just made a subspecies of goats extinct. How horrible is that thought? Perhaps it was just a local population and not a subspecies. Now I'm just wondering, why haven't any of the worms gone after the foxes and the like? I mean, you would think that they would make a tasty meal for a worm. Alright. Oh, eggs is... Oh, hello. You're not an egg. But soon you'll be dead? Well, maybe. More worms, more troubles. Ah, I found an abandoned farm. And some likely places to plant some seeds. Though, I have a feeling a little bit of weeding might be in order here. I mean, I think the only ones who will get a good harvest out of this will be a florist. Nice wildflowers, but not going to be particularly good if you're trying to get a crop seed out of it. Now, let's see. What do we have here? Another patch here. We'll get a patch here and there in the areas that isn't as overgrown as some of the others. There you go. And where else could we plant something? What really gets me is that this is a crafting station for farmers. Oops. Well, I'll have to also deal with those things, I guess. I managed to kill those worms and those eggs.
Our mission is dire.
Well done. I envy your ability to freely go and fight who or what you will. Here, we can only watch as forces of evil creep ever closer to our walls. And the eggs.
Our mission is dire.
There we go. Now with that done, we can return to Tatooine and tell him that I have managed to plant those seeds. Though, I suppose a bit of tending is going to be needed since, well, you see what kind of things really love that ground there. All those flowers. Nice, pretty flowers that farmers probably hate. Alright, planted the seeds.
What business have you with the Rohirrim?
You planted seeds at the old abandoned farmstead along the south riverbank, did you? Ah, wonderful news. Now if only the fools here would have the wisdom to harvest it when it is time. Well, the question is whether or not they'll tend and weed and all that other stuff in the matter. Well, yes, there is that too. I will find a way to gather that crop. I swear it. Your efforts will not be wasted. Well then, that takes care of that. And, oh yes, we have this goat meat that we need to bring to Gada and to tell him everything else that we have done. And I'm sure all would be well, right? Right. Here's the goat meat you ordered.
What brings you to these lands?
Ah, I'm hungry just looking at your burden. Well done, my friend. This meat will save us many empty stomachs.
The Rohirrim will need your aid.
Petronella, I suppose you have accomplished more by yourself in just a short time than all the men of Stangard could do in a month. I cannot thank you enough. Let us talk further, for I believe Stanric has the desire to meet with you. All right, I suppose we could do that. You have certainly caught Stanric's attention with all the good you have done, but unfortunately, you've also caught Sithric's attention as well. I believe Stanric wants to thank you personally, away from the eyes and ears of Theoden's king's envoy. Well then, let's go. What could go wrong? I mean, really, nothing could possibly go wrong.
Will you aid the Horse Lords?
Stanric wishes to speak with you in private, Petronella. He is inside of his house right now. Go on, there's little time. Unfriendly eyes are all around us. Well, I suppose that's true. Well then, let's go inside and have a little talk. Hello there, Stanric. You wish to speak with me?
Our mission is dire.
My men have been coming to thank me for various good deeds you have done for them, traveler. Please, tell me how you were able to do so much for us. for I wish to continue this trend after you leave. Alright, tell him. I see. We have always been few in number here in Stangard. Things have been hard, but the men and beasts had in this outpost have never starved. Slithering was sent by Theoden King to oversee Stangard, but since then things have grown worse. He came to ensure that his distant outpost was to be provided adequate protection at Rohan's edge, but he thwarts all that we could do. You have done much for us since your arrival. The men begin to hate me, but I can't blame them. I do not stand up for them as I should. I have been too afraid to go against the wishes of the king. But I am not afraid anymore. I see what is right. Well, that's the problem is. In situations like this, it's difficult to see what a right answer is.
What brings you to these lands?
Come with me, Petronella. It is high time for change. Well, are we going to be able to make an effective change?
Will you aid the Horse Lords?
Slithering has his eye on us already. He grows suspicious whenever anyone he deems dangerous to his cause leaves his sight for long. Come, let us deal with this now. What is the meaning of this, Stangard? What is this secret conference? There are no secrets, Slithering. I have no wish to avoid you. No? Then why are you and Petronella not speak openly? Oh, worry not. I will be forthcoming now. Petronella has done much for our outpost, with 2 hands only. Gone are the days when I feared my king so much that my men could starve at his bidding. Never again shall the edges of Rohan be allowed to grow feral, while we sit here with our hands bound. You will defy me, the envoy of Theoden King? Indeed I will, when your objections are nonsense. If my eyes see true, it is almost as if you'd strive to see Stangard fall. How dare you imply? Why? The king will hear of this insolence. Yeah, that's about how I expected it to go.
Our mission is dire.
Slithering does not seem to be happy with my newfound zeal, eh? Ha! No matter. I endeavor to do all that you did and move to get Stangard back on its feet. Slithering can go rot for all I care. You're welcome to Stangard any time, but I will venture to say that your work here is done. Alright. But I suspect there's going to be work elsewhere. What else is new? Come, let us retire for now. Talking and thinking are more exhausting than a day's labor when much heavy topics are underway. Yes, they are. The outcome of this is still to be seen.
Will you aid the Horse Lords?
You inspired Stangard beyond anything I could have done, my friend. I think things will be different here for now. Slithering will no longer share the leadership of Stangard, and we will be able to fend for ourselves without interference again. Alright. Now let's see. Boots of the devious nobleman, boots of the honorable man. Stangard steel boots, Slithring's fine leather boots. Ooh, now that looks like something that I could use.
Our success depends upon our strength. Will you aid us?
So what's the next thing I'll be needing to do? We'll have to find that out in the next episode of Piney Plays The Burglar.